Welcome to Primetime Analysis. I am Victor Onyango. Now we know that the discussion between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza is set to begin this week, and most probably it will start on Thursday. And the two teams, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, have selected their teams to be brought to the negotiation table. I have struggled to understand why Azimio decided to pick Kalonzo Musyoka for these engagements. And then I've tried to match that with what Kenya Kwanza brought forward as their negotiating team. My first impression of the team that Kenya Kwanza brought is that they do not think anything serious can come out of that engagement. First of all, if you want anything to be successful, it can be shown by the kind of leaders that you've selected to be part of that team. And the senior person and the person controlling the Kenya Kwanza team is Kimani Ichung'wah. Look at Kimani Ichung'wah and ask yourself whether he is somebody who can be trusted to handle anything serious of a national issue. The kind of bravado that he has shown, and in fact, in some instances, even after being selected in that team, he has said that if Azimio will not accept to discuss things relating to those that they have highlighted in their list, then it is better they go back to the streets and demonstrate. So if this is your lead negotiator, someone who writes letters without getting a direct way of communication with the other team, I believe without any doubt that these engagements are all going to fall just as the bipartisan talk had fallen earlier. These are the same people and they have the same agenda, and that agenda is to frustrate Azimio and ensure that they buy time to have their things working. Once things start working for them, they will leave Kenyans and they will leave Azimio to find a way in which they can do their things. But I have looked at the two issues that both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza are talking about. One of these is that Azimio's side is focusing on here and now, but Kenya Kwanza is focusing on the future. Look at the list of items that Kimani Ichung'wah listed. He talked about the IBC, which is future. He talked about the women two-third gender rule. He talked about creation of the position of the official leader of opposition, and also embedment of the position of prime cabinet secretary into the whole constitution. For me, what this drives me to is that Kenya Kwanza wants to create a BBI through the back door. They want to have a hybrid kind of governance system that will ensure that we have a president, an opposition leader, and also a prime minister attached to it. That is what they want. They are not looking at the issues that Azimio is talking about right now. Azimio is talking about cost of living. Azimio is talking about police brutality. Azimio is talking about the independence of political parties. Azimio is talking about inclusivity. These are things that a government does not need to sit down and talk to another person, more so an opposition, to get them do it. These are policy issues. Policy issues can be addressed by the government without even having to sit down with the opposition. So that is something that is there. In this analysis, I want us to look at the reasons why Azimio should leave these talks immediately. Before we begin, if you're watching us for the first time, please take a second or two to like, subscribe to our channel, and help us grow into the journey to 10,000 subscribers. We are currently at 4,000, and I believe your addition will help us achieve this dream. For those who continue watching us, we thank you for the support, and remember, we do not take that support for granted. Now let's jump into our main issues. Having looked at the two issues presented by the Azimio and Kenya Kwanza regime, I have come to one conclusion, and only one conclusion. Azimio is interested in talks. Kenya Kwanza is not interested in any form of talks. And that is why the agenda they bring forward is something unique to us and ambiguous. The kind of people they choose to be on the discussion, also very ambiguous. For me, I would have thought that even for the respect of President Olusegun Obasanjo, they would bring somebody like Mudavadi to sit and get down into this negotiating team. But lowering it down to Kimani Ichung'wah shows the contempt with which Kenya Kwanza treats the Azimio team. But that aside, I want us to analyze one by one the issues that Raila Odinga's team brought and why, even as they go to sit down, nothing will come out of each of the issues that they are bringing out. First issue is the IEBC. I want to advise Azimio, no matter the person or the people who will be suggested to be part of the team, I want to tell you one thing. President William Ruto is a hands-on president. And look, you can know that by the kind of manner in which he runs his cabinet. He calls everybody. And therefore, even in the selection panel, and Kenyans, we have known ourselves, we can be easily infiltrated and compromised. I know a list of people will be sent to the president, and the chairperson of the IBC that will come will still be that which the president prefers. That is the same thing that happened with Chebukati. It is public knowledge that Chebukati did not have highest qualifications, but because it was favorable for President Uhuru Kenyatta to have Chebukati be the person leading that team, he saw it right to have Chebukati be that person. So for me, I believe the question of pursuing issues around IBC, it has been an issue bedeviling this country for quite some time, and it is only fair for Azimio to also be innovative in a way. This is the Kenya we are in. You know how it is. Kindly be innovative on how you address the issues that you have around the IBC. And for me, I would propose this. Azimio should not wait for someone who they prefer to be appointed the chairperson for IBC. Neither should they wait for friendly commissioners to be appointed. Because if that is the case, we have known that the Cherera 4 were aligned to the Azimio side. So what should they do? Azimio should embark on national countrywide campaigns. This will ensure that they sensitize the public to believe and accept their message. And looking at the many failures that the current regime is committing, Kenyans will be aligned to the opposition. This will ensure that when it comes to the day of elections, people will vote in such huge number for the opposition to an extent that even if the government had plans and skills to rig, they would not have space for rigging. Another issue that they have listed is the issue of cost of living. And I want us to talk about this quite frankly. Azimio is bringing the issue of cost of living first. But Kenya Kwanza has nothing like cost of living in their list. And that is why they do not want to entertain any discussion with regards to issues around cost of living, because they know they are failing on that. And if they will give it to Azimio, they will be working and walking their trap, and therefore they would not want to entertain any discussion in that line. For this reason, that is why Azimio and Kenya Kwanza will never get to agree on the strategy to address cost of living. Azimio is talking about subsidies. Kenya Kwanza is saying we are giving fertilizers and that will work to ensure that productivity in our farms is improved and then food will flood our markets. There, don't expect Kenya Kwanza to sit down with you to talk about cost of living because they know they are failing in that and they cannot give you that because that is the thing you used to ensure that Kenyans rally around your messaging. So they will never entertain any talks about cost of living on that. And if it will be something talked about, they will give you how they are running it and they will tell you you had your opportunity, it didn't work. Let us try ours and see if it works. The third issue is about police brutality. And this becomes very complicated when you are dealing with the government. Police is used as a tool by the government against people opposing it. And that is why they will tell you, and this is the message I believe they will give Azimio. You brought looters and we dealt with them. They are not in any point entertaining any discussion about police and everything. The reforms you want are there in the constitution, and therefore, Kenya Kwanza will not give you anything more. Looking at the fourth issue, it's about political party independence. Azimio should get serious, if you ask me. We know that the issue about Jubilee has been very, very serious on them. And they have thought that Kenya Kwanza raiding their team should not be allowed. But this is politics. And we know William Ruto. He plays street politics. There are no morals. And therefore you cannot go trying to tell him, don't do this to us. The only thing you can do is use your skills to attract other people. For those who have left, let them leave. Those who are with you, let them be with you. Looking at it right now, Kenya Kwanza has a majority in both houses of the parliament. And in this regard, they cannot lose any motion. The only thing you can do is have your members of parliament speak out in parliament against their bills and their issues. But having their issues passed, that you cannot oppose. Therefore, I believe the best strategy that Azimio should deploy is ensure that they get out to the public, communicate, sell the agenda to the public and give their alternative views, and in the end, try to attract new people to come to their team. And I can tell you one thing, if they continue this pressure for like 2 years, they will have reached a point where people will see openly that the current regime does not have any chance against Kenyans. And therefore, those who feel can work with them will come and work with them. Azimio should also get down and assemble serious technocrats known to deliver, to come and manage their next campaign activities going forward. Because if they remain with the previous team, especially in ODM, they can be rest assured nothing will come out of their activities. That's my take. I don't know what you think about the issues, but Azimio and his team must work to ensure that they get out of those talks and find Kenyans directly, communicate with them, and let Kenya Kwanza fail in the government that they have. Because if you look at them right now, it's already 1 year into their presidency, but they have nothing to show Kenyans. Let's wait and see how things pan out. Please remember to always subscribe to our channel. Thank you and may God bless you. Bye-bye.